Hi, everybody. And I have to, in case you haven't heard any part of the story before, this is a conversation that started last year in Nepal with my roommate, Beverly. So I'm speaking on behalf of the two of us who sat yakking, trying to figure out how we could help the situation. So um, there are now a number of orphanages that Ancient Secrets supports. And last year we were introduced to a couple of them. There's a law in Nepal that the children, when they reach 18, they are supposed to leave the orphanage. That's how long the child welfare, basically, what we would call it, lasts. Now, up until this point, there has been no safe house, some in between, some intermediary place for them to go. They basically have to leave with no money, with very little life skills, if any, and find their way. It's sometimes these children have just disappeared into the abyss. Some have stayed in touch, but not very many. So Beverly and I really were concerned about this and started asking questions about it last year when we were there. It's been a very slow process to get in a regular contact with the two incredibly beautiful gentlemen who basically are Ancient Secrets eyes and ears, making sure that all the funds are going exactly where they need to go to the growing array of orphanages. Their names are Pratik and GC. And so I've had now a series of meetings with them. The one in November precipitated a course of action. We're finding our way. We're feeling our way with this. But one of the things we did, we said, okay, we need to have somebody go around to each of the children. There are 40 of them now. 40, I'm saying children, but they're teenagers, young adults. And the reason why, by the way, there's so many right now is because many of them have stayed in the orphanage even though they're supposed to leave. They've become workers for a very small stipend in order to have a roof over their heads and food. However, it's not just that. For those of us who were in Nepal and experienced these orphanages firsthand, it's a love bubble that is very hard to leave. I mean, there are 30 kids who just are a hive. They're a troop, and extracting yourself from that and going through the doors and all of a sudden being in the big wide world would be completely daunting to anybody. But these are also children who have been somewhat sheltered by this environment. And Beverly and I just kept going, oh my God, they're going to just hit their heads against the wall. And this could be devastating and lonely, So anyway, we hired a lovely man, a 50-year teaching veteran named Dr. Baral. And in December, he went on every Saturday to all the different orphanages and he interviewed all 40 of these soon-to-be alumni of the orphanages to ask them, what do you want? Just exactly what we are asked by Dr. Naram and Clint all the time. What do you want? Well, of course, they probably have a very narrow view of what they want. They don't know all the options, but this was only the first round of interviews. And so on Thursday night, we had a meeting again with Dr. Baral to find out what he had discovered. Well, the first thing I want to say, and this is so crucial, and it brought me to tears. He said, in my 50 years of teaching, all different ages, 20 years at university, teaching wealthy students, not so wealthy students, he said, I have never in my life encountered such positivity and enthusiasm than those children. And I still get choked up because when we were there in their milieu, it's completely intoxicating. And you think, oh, well, maybe all Nepal is like this. No. These orphanages are really doing something special. And it just underscores even more to me how important it is support them, to lift them up as they leave and give them a little bit of protection as they start to go out into the world. We don't want them to lose this precious, precious quality that they have. So what we have thought about, and a general idea right now, I have a big dream of having a hotel that's defunct, that they can have floors that are for girls, floors for boys, cafeteria. We can teach life skills, and it can be centrally located, and they can go to if they want to go to school or vocational, whatever they want to do. They have a roof for 2 years, 3 years, and they can start to earn money and go on their way. But that's not necessarily achievable. What we can do is place them in a variety of hostels around Kathmandu. Some are going to be closer to some institute of learning. Some are closer to another institute of learning. So not everybody wants to go on to school, to university. Many of them have nobody's ever even said to them, by the way, you can go to university. It's just not even in their purview. We have to also remember there's a caste system in Nepal, and orphanage children are at the very, very bottom rung. However, the good news is that there are scholarships for that level of society. So Dr. Baral is going to go back and do a second round of interviews, also offer ideas that are sort of out of the box of the children who kind of have a narrow view. Some things like Leonora suggested an eco-village. Now, we don't know. There might be 1 or 2 kids who will go for that. Most of them want to get into the city, want to, live an exciting life. But that's not necessarily true for everybody. So we're thinking if we can place them in hostels, maybe 5 hostels around the city, 4, I don't know, and get them, cover their living expenses. So the hostel provides food, at least for another year until we come up with a better solution. That's what we're going to do. The deadline really is May or June. And we have not worked out the budget yet. I have to be very upfront about that. We have to figure out which of the children truly do want to become students, because there will be books, there will be tuition. If they don't get scholarships, there will be transportation. Then we have to figure out which ones actually do want to do vocational school, et cetera, and cover the basics. What I know is that we're going to need to raise a good chunk of change. And even though I can't tell you exactly what the number is today, I have an idea. And I think it's a fun idea, and I think it's a creative idea. So, ready? Here goes. If every member of Ancient Secrets, and I think there are 10,000, something like that, what if every member of Ancient Secrets had a little Valentine party? Now, it could be online, it could be in person, it could be any combination of things. It could be a cookie party, it could be, I don't know, Valentine's card making party. It could be a little before Valentine's, a little after Valentine's. The whole idea is this is a time when we're really focused on what comes from the heart. And I'm saying, let's get a massive heart-shaped Valentine for these kids in Nepal that gives them the confidence to know that they can actually leave the orphanage and not fall down flat on their faces right away, that they are going to be supported, that they are going to get to know, by the way, the other children in the other orphanages. The team is going to start having what we would call mixers, gatherings, so that when they leave, and if they get placed in an orphanage with other children from the other orphanages, they're not strangers. They'll feel like family. We're going to start the life skills classes now, and then we're going to start the life skills classes for the 16 and 17-year-olds as soon as possible, so that we don't run up against, the same issue at the last minute again. So, mung bean parties. I mean, y'all can just have at it, get creative. And then we thought, okay, everyone can post pictures of their party on the Facebook page, and share what they've raised. Mindy is co-authoring this with me, and she's going to make a web page, and we're going to put together a little mailer, a little invitation, and so that you can just send that out, and it'll be easy, and it'll have the Zeffy link in it. And because some people say, you know what, I'm really not into parties at all, and so I'll just write a check. But really, it doesn't even matter how small or great the donation is. The big idea is to share the love with these beautiful, beautiful beings.